Then there's Justin Thomas at plus 900. So Fowler, are those too long or too short?
I mean, think about JT. Like his past performances are solid, right? A third, I believe, at where was it, Mayakoba, the last time he was out, or I forget if it was the RS or Mayakoba, but he's playing well, and we talk about it, and so I do think these could be lower. I wouldn't mind, honestly, Geoff, if he and Colin Morikawa were closer in odds, even though Morikawa, we see that he's probably the hottest golfer right now on tour with what he's done, the first American to win the race at Dubai Championship. So I wouldn't mind JT being this low, and especially like Geoff talked about with Rory. I mean, who's closer in this field? And this makes sense, right? This does matter. Who's closer in this field than JT to Tiger? Right? Like after all that's been happening with Tiger, seeing that press conference, seeing how much it shook the entire golf world, but especially JT, like that, I could definitely see him coming out and win this. So while I like Rory better, I think this is a little too high. I think this could be shorter. I think it could be closer to Morikawa.
Yeah, Geoff, it's kind of bizarre. A guy who claims like the Players' Championship, we're talking about it and people are calling it a disappointing year, but he's been pretty hot recently. So do you think these should actually be shorter?
I mean, it's pretty hard for me to sit here and say they should be longer, right? Because, I mean, there's good players in this field, but there's definitely a gap between the top three, in my opinion, and the next guys. So, yeah, I mean, if anything, like they probably should be shorter. Reid mentioned he was third the last time out at the OHL, or at the Mayakoba Classic, the old OHL Classic. But, I mean, Justin Thomas, like Rory, I mean, look at where he's gotten most of his non-nature wins. It's like this CIMB Classic at these events where tropical venues, the Sony Open, where players go 20, 22 under. I mean, this is not going to be a tough setup for Justin Thomas. It's just, you look at Rory and Morikawa, clearly those guys have been a little bit sharper over the last little bit. They both picked up wins. So I think Justin Thomas is probably right there in the odds, but Reid's right. Like, this is a small event. So, I mean, even plus 900, we could say, well, you should probably be plus 800 or plus 850. I think, of the top three, there's a pretty good argument. You just say, well, just bet Justin Thomas. He's got the biggest odds. I couldn't really make an argument against that. It's just, I think clearly Rory's been a little bit sharper of late. So realistically, yeah, I would prefer Thomas and Rory over Morikawa this week, even though, I mean, these are just, like I said, these three are really close in terms of talent right now.